Hello and welcome back to my channel. On this video, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how I get 8 cups of bone broth and 2 chickens worth of chicken for the week for only $10. Now in short, the answer is the Costco chickens. They are only $5 each, but in this process, I'm gonna go ahead and debone them and turn the rest of it into a delicious, potent broth. I'm gonna start with deboning the chickens, and I start with the breasts and the drumsticks first. I would say deboning each chicken takes about 10 minutes or less. For me, I like to use my hands, but you're welcome to use a knife. I just find it a little easier to do it when it's fresh because it just really does come right off the bone. Now, you get to determine how much of the chicken you want to use to eat and how much of it you want to use for the broth. I like to be able to use it for cold sandwiches or salads, so all of the fatty bits I usually do end up taking off, but that's up to you. If you don't mind it, or if you plan on recooking it later into different meals, then you can keep it all. So it's completely up to your discretion, but this is how I prefer it personally. And just a heads up that it can look a little bit gnarly, so if you don't feel like you need the tutorial on how to debone the chicken, then you can go ahead and skip it and get to the next part. And wrapping up on the first one here, you want to make sure to get every little scrap that's left and put it back in the bag with the juices to go ahead and put that in the crock pot later. Here's everything that we got from that first chicken, and it's looking good. After we get this second one in there, that container is going to be packed full. So this one was quite a bit hotter than the first one, so I did end up using a butter knife to go ahead and debone this one. Just a heads up for that, be careful, you definitely don't want to burn yourself in the process. Alright, and here we are, 2 chickens later, a lot to eat for the week, and we're not done yet. We still have our broth to make. Go ahead and pour out every last bit because you want every drop of flavor in there. For a proper bone broth, you'll need to soak it in the crock pot for at least 12 hours, but I do mine usually for 24 hours to get a nice concentrated broth. Sometimes I can really stretch it out quite a bit. because it is so potent in flavor. Now this is optional, but I do also like to add a whole onion for some added health benefits and flavor, but that's totally up to you. I do leave the peel on because, believe it or not, that adds quite a bit of flavor as well. But again, that step is optional, and we will check back in 24 hours with our crock pot on low. Now look at that rich golden brown color, lots of flavor in there. Now this time I did use 2 chickens because that's what I had, but this will also work just great with 1. Now in this step, you do want to fine mesh strainer so that none of the parts slip through into your broth. And you want to go ahead and hold it over for a little while to get every last drop. But now that we're done, here we are. This is so good and tasty. I put it into everything. I put it into Poseidon's instant noodles. I put it into soups. I make it into our rice. I really do hope you try this. It's made preparing meals so much easier with all of this chicken and broth at my disposal. And it can really stretch out if you do equal parts broth and equal parts water if you have a more concentrated batch like I do. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe for more.